product owners and managers are spending a lot of time researching. So extracting community ideas, our partner sentiment, our analyst reports, our competitive intel, and extracting all that data. We used to manually identify themes, which would drive priorities. And now tools like Gemini and OpenAI and Claude are allowing us to use them to extract the themes. And that research is now taking minutes instead of days. So that's just not efficiency. That's literally velocity.
Welcome to LaunchPod AI, the show from LogRocket, where we sit down with top product and digital leaders to talk real, practical ways they're using AI on their teams to move faster and be smarter. Today, we're talking with Shakir Karim, Senior VP of Product, and Karthik Chakkarapani, CIO and Senior VP of Corporate Operations from Zuora. In this episode, Karthik and Shakir share why they believe AI is a bigger inflection point than web, mobile, or even cloud, their internal AI agent workflow that automatically resolves thousands of service requests instantly, freeing teams to focus on strategy, how they cut a major feature deployment step from 14 days to 10 minutes using Claude Code, and why prompt-a-thons and hackathons have been vital for driving not just AI adoption, but AI literacy. So here's our episode with Karthik Chakkarapani and Shakir Karim from Zuora. I'm so happy this happened, and thanks for making the time to come on and chat about how Zuora is looking to 10x efficacy and 10x innovation from AI. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We had Ken Hausman from your product team on a couple of weeks back, Shakir, and afterwards we ended up talking for longer and longer. And Zuora, we've all seen, the best deck ever presented is the Zuora deck, right? It's like the template of what a pitch deck should be. And you guys have been such a part of SaaS as it has grown into what it is. I was really curious to hear how you guys are using AI to kind of go into this new era and reinvent again. And this idea of 10xing innovation kept coming up. So maybe Karthik, we can start with you on what did that mean? When you say 10x, like wheels on the ground, how are you guys looking at that?
Yeah, a couple of key objectives that we're all driving towards, and technology is a key enabler to these objectives. Number one is we want our customers to have the right expertise with the right reliable service. And number two is we are the provider of choice for the order to cash platform by CFOs in the SaaS market. Number three is we are replacing the legacy billing and recurring payment systems at the B2C companies. And last but not the least, which directly kind of connects to the AI, is be the most efficient SaaS company in our market to enable future investment in growth and customer success. Our 10x initiative, which is focused more on AI, is directly linked to this fourth one, to be the most efficient company. And we have seen several opportunities. And in an AI native world, technology leaders are no longer just technology enablers. We have to be architects that are adaptive and drive towards more intelligent enterprises, and also lead the shift from static systems, existing SaaS landscapes, to more contextual and agentic experiences that learns, personalizes, and also evolves in real time. And that is a whole principle behind our 10x innovation and transformation.
And to be clear, there's two elements to it. One is, a little bit of how does AI operate within the product that is Zuora and for, customer facing stuff. But also with a company the size of Zuora, there's a lot of people. How do you make them 10x more impactful?
Absolutely. We are witnessing the next wave of disruption, which is accelerating super fast. Large language models like from OpenAI or Anthropic and others are evolving rapidly and enabling more and more natural and powerful interactions. And even now we are seeing the birth of AI native browsers as well, right? Which are transforming how we search, we summarize and act online, not with clicks, but more with intent and interactions. So how do we do this? How do we make our enterprises ready for this new engagement and interaction? In order to do that, we need to be more of an AI native company. What I mean by AI native company is deploy AI broadly to enable everyone to experience these new interactions and reach their productivity potential. That is a baseline and foundational thing that we have to do. And we have been doing a lot of reskill and upskill and enablement sessions to show them what's possible, what's the art of possible, how can you take an existing process and reimagine and make it more automate and smarter. Those are the things that we are actively working on. And this is a foundation in order to drive towards more of an AI native business. Once we enable the employees with AI native, then we can gradually move towards automating business processes across multiple functions. So that's a road we're taking.
Kind of regardless of where you're looking in product or for your own team, it kind of seems like what we've seen across the board talking to product leaders is it starts with, if you're looking at yourself, you're going to also be building with the tools and using them. And the more you just figure out these things, the more you're going to learn how they can be extrapolated and used across in other places as well. So generally, everyone kind of starts with just doing it, and then you get better and deploy it elsewhere and elsewhere, and it's going to have compounding gains. Specifically over at Zuora, what does that look like? Like within the company, how are you looking at automating things that maybe historically before either, A, weren't done because they're just too time consuming or not, value to cost ratio weren't there until you could AI it, or B, maybe it was, expensive or slow and you can just like turn something that was long and slow into instantaneous?
No, definitely great point. So we don't want to take an existing process, which let's say it's a 10-step process, and just make it automated, right? It's not going to move the needle a lot. So we need to really understand what the future of work needs to be. And we look at future of work in 4 different categories. Number 1 is enterprise context. Can AI understand me and my work? Number 2 is enterprise search. Can AI give me the right answer right away? Number 3 is agentic AI. Can AI help me with smart automation and completes the actions autonomously? And number 4 is continuous learning. Can AI grow smarter as we grow? So if we look at these 4 principles of future of work, this is something new, right? It's not like a typical SaaS transformation or cloud transformation. In order to do this, then we have to look at how do people work today, whether it is a procurement process or a payment process or an opportunity management or driving lead management. How do we do that today? And look at how we can amplify their current processes, either reducing the friction, unlocking new productivity gains, and also amplifying their current potential, what they can do with this additional tool. So we have to look at from the eyes of a person or an user and look at how do they do the work today and see how these new tools and technologies in this new intent-based architecture can deliver value in a different way.
One thing I think from my conversation with Ken, even that he brought up, is this idea that you guys launched an internal AI agent for your own teams and just the productivity that's had of just smoothing the road for everyone to move faster. How'd that come about, I guess, is my first question there.
Actually, we are in year 2 of our AI journey. And one of the first pain points that as employees had is service management, whether it's IT service management or HR service management. We had like 8 services across the company, and it was a very painful process. Anytime people ask a question or a request, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And the common things were still the same, like forgot password, or I need access to this application. What is the latest vacation policy? What is the latest benefits? Hey, I've closed a deal. I don't see my comp statement yet. So the normal things that a day-to-day employee would use. And we were getting, for the size of a company, across all these functions, we were getting almost like 5,000 plus requests. So when we looked at it, we saw that, okay, almost many of them are driven by knowledge. AI is great when we have good knowledge in the systems. And so we want to tap into, okay, let's pull in all the knowledge, train a model, and create a self-service AI agent where employees can have a natural interaction, ask questions or request for services, and also fulfill some requests automatically as well. So helping them to find information quickly or get help quickly or automatically service fulfillment as well. So we rolled it out almost a year ago, and today we have almost close to 60% self-service deflection. We get 10,000 interactions in our AI agent, which lives and breathes in Slack. So it's kind of a natural flow of work because we do operate Slack day in, day out. So we just embedded this new AI agent self-service as part of the natural flow of work. And that really helped us. And that was our first AI agent that we rolled out enterprise-wide a year ago. With that, we did have a lot of lessons learned. It was not like a smooth ride. We had our ups and downs as well. The problem was it was not about the technology. It was non-technology aspects like organization readiness, knowledge gaps. The content should be very rich. So those kind of the things that where we worked. And today, I think it's a well-running machine, and we have built more agents on top of it now. So the one thing that worked in our favor is, as consumers like you and I, we are embracing these technologies in our personal lives. And when we come to work, the same consumers or employees, and they expect the same thing. So that worked in our favor. It was a good tailwind for us, and we had lesser of the headwinds over here. And obviously, we have to do more like pilots and region-based. And we didn't roll it out to all the services on day one. We started with IT, like eat our own doctor. And then we learned the lessons from there. And obviously, LLMs were not that great a year ago because the models were still coming up. And so we have to fine-tune multiple variables like people aspects, readiness aspects, enablement, technology, LLM. So it was almost like a long simultaneous equation with 10 variables levels that we had to keep on fine tuning. It almost took us like 3 to 4 months last year to settle down. And then we started rolling out to other shared services functions like HR, finance, workplace services, and everything.
But you get people spending less time thinking about this and less switching costs. You get people happier because they don't have to go through this inhuman process that actually involves more humans. But you're also learning how to, I'm sure you guys picked up a lot of important skills for building other kinds of agents and other functions into your product. You guys mentioned when we talked earlier, this tool called Trupeer and how it kind of accelerated training and communication. I think that it's just a cool tool that I checked out after too, but maybe go into a little bit more of like, what did it actually look like? Why was this so important?
We were going through various functions to identify the potential use cases and opportunities. We already had a catalog of his use cases, and still we didn't realize about this content creation of videos. It would take so much time. As employees, we don't have visibility. What happens behind the scenes? All we see is awesome videos that gets published on their website. But behind the scenes, what we came to know is for every video by language, it used to take like 4 to 5 hours, and we have to support like 10 plus languages, and we do multiple product releases and capabilities on a regular basis. And at the same time, I came across this vendor, Trupeer, at a CIO forum. And I asked, what do you guys do? It started as a simple question. We create AI generated content from a simple screen recording. So I had that in mind. And I just shared about that product in our AI channel where people contribute a lot of things. And suddenly Shakir's team came up. Hey, this seems very interesting. We create like thousands of videos on a regular basis. And okay, go ahead and give it a try, right? So they went ahead and gave it a try. It was a very self-service based, no product setup, nothing. We just created a trial account and boom, they were able to create like 10, 15 videos in multiple languages with different avatars. And I thought that use case was only specific for product and training, but apparently every other part of the organization does create videos. Like it can be a sales demo or a customer success presentation, or my own team was doing internal enablement videos, and it kind of went like wildfire. Okay, then I thought, okay, anything content creation is a pain in the neck, right? Whether it is PowerPoint presentations or video content or audio file or podcast. Gemini made it very easy to create podcast on existing documentation. But this one, we didn't even know that we have to solve this use case, right? So this is one of those use cases where Shakir's team wouldn't come and tell that, hey, I need to solve this video creation lifecycle better, because it never even popped up in our use cases list. Just because we saw this product in the market, it's almost like an unmet need and unlocking new productivity is how I would say it, right? So
every feature that we build here in the product team requires some form of an educational video to help our customers really understand the value of the feature, the capability, how to turn it on. This is typically a 4-week minimum journey of scripting, recording, editing, publishing. And what we found is just exponential impact. I mean, we dropped that down to 4 hours because the AI automation allows for a rough cut recording to be submitted. We're creating our rough cut videos anyways as we do our internal release management. And we're taking that, we're loading it up, and our AI avatar, so our Zuora own persona, essentially dynamically creates the script, presents the script, and then we get localizations for free. So we've also extended our reach because now we've got these educational content in our Zuora University in multiple languages. So it's been immensely impactful for us and the team.
And it's engine-based search as well. So now if you publish it in a website, when I go to ChatGPT or other, it can search through the video and pinpoint the exact video clip, right? So it reduced from 4 to 5 hours to less than 5 minutes, I guess, today. So
that's wild. Talking about the level of improvement you can see in some of these initiatives. It's not like, oh, hey, we shaved 25% off of the time to make a video. It's we went from 4 weeks to 4 hours. I'm not gonna do the math off the top of my head, but it's a really high percentage cut, right? It's like 96% or something. But I think it brings up another interesting point is one, just we have all witnessed now this just absurd, even exponential and logarithmic increase in tooling that all has these AI things. A lot of it is just trash, to be honest. And a lot of it's really good, but there's no way any one group can keep up. And then again, at Zuora's scale and where you guys sit in a lot of companies' stacks, you have to be a little aware of, you can't just bring in everything and connect it and go crazy. So Shakir, for your team, how do you guys think about balancing experimentation and velocity on trying some of these new functions? And I assume there's some crossover with Karthik's team on that as well.
Yeah, Jeff. So I would say about 1.5 years ago, we had these AI zealots at Zuora. These were like bleeding cutting edge people who are experimenting. They're excited about the possibilities of AI. They're either doing side hustles or fun projects, but two kind of challenges with that. Number one, a small cohort of individuals versus great across the P&T organization. And we didn't yet have vetted or approved tools that we could use. And fast forward to today, partnering with IT with Karthik's team, we essentially have the tools available that have been vetted, and in tandem with a culture of and structure to use them responsibly has been the real key unlock for us. I would say it's not only about adoption, but literacy with these AI tools is really important to us. Because when you think of Zuora, Karthik mentioned, right, we are the quote to cash engine. So we help our customers price, package, bill, capture payment, all the way to revenue recognition. We're a financial system of record. So we can't allow for every employee to plug into any AI tool or find online. This is just not going to.
That'd be an interesting dance right there.
Yes. I see it kind of like a symbiotic relationship, right? If customers don't trust that we've got the right processes and the right tools in place, they're not going to be a customer for long. And if employees can't trust the tools, so they're not vetted by our internal folks that are vetting these, the AI champions crew, then they won't use them. And if the company can't trust how employees are using the AI tools, then obviously you can never scale. So all these three things really need to work together. Yeah.
There's also even like a fourth almost, which is but if you guys can't help them get access to some of the things they need for innovation, right, you're just going to start to get like dark IT where they're going to do it themselves anyway. So you have to provide like the velocity and the experimentation where they don't feel like they have to go outside the rules, but you also have to keep it safe.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's why we do in partnership with Shakir and team, right? So we do have a well-established AI governance process. It's a 3-stage process. First stage is anybody in the company can go experiment on a new tool within the guardrails of security and compliance. And once they see a good proof of value, not even a proof of concept, like proof of value, yes, is it moving the needle? Is it a net new or is it a duplicate? So we check all those things. And then when it comes to stage 2 is where we really review the business value, the business case, more additional security and compliance to make sure how the data is governed, how are the LLMs doing, what type of privacy we're going to have. And then we go to the stage 3 where we formally approve it and take it forward. So stage 1, it's a big funnel. Anybody can do, but you cannot go connect to your production system.
I love that though. It goes back to, people want to be trying these things and you're always going to have those people who are going to be on your vanguard of pushing forward. But Shakir, to your point, it's about not just adoption, but literacy. And literacy has to include how do you do this as a safe steward of the data you have access to. So I want to kind of dig in a little bit here into like, now that you have the tools, you have the access, Karthik's group has been fantastic about, you can try these new things and move fast. What does that look like on the product? We had a dinner actually last night in Boston and had, 30 product folks from a couple of small startups up to some of the biggest retailers and, financial companies in the world. And everyone though had the same question of like, how are each of you actually using this stuff in workflow to make teams faster, to 10x our productivity?
So I'll cherry pick a couple of examples. I mean, one might be pretty obvious, right? Like as a product technology company, a big part of what we do is research to identify what are the next big bets that we want to make as a product team. How does that drive our roadmap? And so product owners and managers are essentially spending a lot of time researching. So extracting community ideas, our partner sentiment, our analyst reports, our competitive intel, and extracting all that data. We used to manually identify themes, which would drive priorities. And now tools like Gemini and OpenAI and Claude are allowing us to use them to extract the themes. And of course, that research is now taking minutes instead of days. So that's just not efficiency. That's literally velocity. Another maybe unique use case that we're just experimenting with is sales enablement. So every release, we have to train our field and external stakeholders around what was built and why it was built. We're using Gemini storybooks to essentially load up our release collateral and our recordings. And we're allowing our sales reps and go-to-market folks to jump in and ask questions into the Gemini storybook. And why is that important? Well, sometimes when you're watching it real time, you may not have a customer use case that really resonates for that release or that feature that was built. And so at any point in time, they can come back and they say, oh, I remember a product manager had launched that in this release. Let me go ahead and search for it. So it's like a powerful search tool for any of the releases that we created. Maybe the most obvious one is around self-service prototyping. Like one of my favorite anecdotes is the product manager saying like, hey, here's what's in my head. And in minutes, we've got prototyping tools now that can convert that idea into a clickable prototype. And now even great enough to use Zuora's own design system. So it's already in the user experience language that we speak. And instead of days or weeks of back and forth, that prototype can be handed off to UX and engineering to refine. So that speed of ideation has changed dramatically as well.
I'm curious if we can double click on that. What is the process? Like, how are you doing that to do the prototyping at speed, but still maintaining the Zuora design language and all of that? Like, is there tooling you kind of brought in?
Yeah. So like, funny enough, we were getting really scrappy in the beginning. We just for full transparency, we've played around with V0, we've played around with Lovable, with Replit. All three are really great applications. So we haven't really decided which one's better. All three
They're
of
good
those
for different
allow-
things, I feel like, when I've used them.
Yeah, you can get really scrappy. You can literally take a Figma output and throw it in there, and you can prompt and say, I want to do this and I want it to look like this. And they're actually all really good at that. And then a lot of them now have that bridge to Figma direct. So you can essentially load in your own design language as well. So those are two of the hacks that allow us to unlock building Zuora specific experiences.
So you guys are just kind of porting out of Figma where you are already doing UI design and using that to give the guardrails. Because what's interesting is I feel like in the past, like literally week or two, I have seen 3 different startups in this space where their entire thing is you can integrate with your GitHub or your libraries around your front end and be able to help you prototype fast, but in the language of your product, so it looks like it's part of your product.
Yeah, and we probably would have started that way, just connecting our own repos. We are an existing Figma customer, and so our design language is there, our component library is there, and so that's why we leaned in on just bridging that versus a direct to our repo. Yeah,
and that really has allowed you guys to accelerate by the prototyping and hand it off. And if a picture's worth 1,000 words, that's way more.
Yeah, and Jeff, also on the engineering side, like obviously as a financial system of record, everything we do needs to be auditable. It's just who did what, when, what did it look like before, what did it look like after. For every single feature we build at Zuora, there's a sprint dedicated to integrating to what we call the notary service, immutable, auditable database that our customers can report off of. And that used to be a sprint, like a 14-day effort. And with Claude Code, we've cut that down to 10 minutes. Like literally it's what object are you enabling or building? And essentially it'll write the code on how to bridge to use the SDK to write into our notary service. We are seeing efficiency gains for anything integration oriented as well. It's very binary, right? Like we do a lot of payment and bank integrations for our customers who need to collect cash. And so we're seeing 30 to 40% efficiency gains with integrations as well.
14 days to 10 minutes. Basically, you're saying it's zero. Like functionally, right? If you go 14 days to 10 minutes, that's functionally zero at that point. That brings up a good point because we had on recently Non-Yu, who's the head of product over at Linear. And he brought up a really good point of at some level, the value is you can kind of reduce the time to do things, right? There's 30% here, 40% here. But the big thing is the cost of trying things goes to almost zero. Like I said, 14 days to 10 minutes is basically you just went to nothing. If that time doesn't exist anymore, but that means now you can try a lot more things. A few of those things are going to hit really big, and before they weren't worth it, but now they are. There's a whole new world of opportunity that you can try.
Agreed. And the way we're thinking about it is almost the concept of an AI labs as well, where we give our customers the ability to test and play around in a dedicated sandbox. They can load it with their dummy data. It doesn't have their production data. And we can quickly release innovations that we built and like get feedback, experiment with our customers in mind, right? Like allowing them to be first-class citizens to our development and giving us feedback.
Right. One thing I'm curious, and kind of for both of you, is at heart, a lot of the things we've talked about have come down to adoption and education and literacy. We talked about at the beginning with the, internal agent for internal support. It's a good learning exercise to then take lessons to other things you've done. But that's hard to scale across the size of company you guys have and the multiple geos that you operate in. How are you kind of ensuring that this is something everyone is literate on? How do you keep everyone moving and building and trying when maybe it's not always their core job is to do some something quickly or there's a deliverable now, but you also need them to learn for the long term so they can all get better at this.
Change management is one of the key success factors. It has 5 times more weightage than enabling a new technology because we are all used to doing our work in different way. Now with this new interface and intent-based interaction, we need to think differently, right? So we have established a good practice of change management and organization readiness. Number one is we created, in addition to the Zoe, the agent for service management, we also enabled a Gemini Notebook LM. Whenever we have new tools and processes and new functions enabled, we just put it in the LM. And we have an enterprise-wide Notebook LM where people can go and ask questions. You can create a podcast out of it. But what I've noticed is individual functions as well, they've created their own version of Notebook LM. And go to marketing, they have created their own version of it that is specific to their needs. So we have like common enterprise ones, and then we have functional Notebook LMs, which is exactly what we wanted because one team cannot do all these things. So that's number one. Number two is we do have a regular enablement session by geos, by role, by person on a weekly basis where we walk them through what is possible, how can you do our work better. And so we do have partnerships like with OpenAI and Glean and other vendors where they come and show the best practices, what they have seen with other customers. So rather than hearing from us, we have them connect with our employee base directly. So that's number two. Number three is Shakir's team started with this hackathon a couple of months, inviting even external parties. A month ago, we also held a prompt-a-thon kind of a challenge where we enabled, as I mentioned earlier, we want to be an AI native employee base first, where we rolled out all these tools like Gemini and OpenAI and Glean and everything else. And we just wanted people to just experiment, just use it, right? It's almost like when we get a new Apple phone, we don't get training on, we just use it, right? So similar to it, right? And nobody gave us training on ChatGPT as well. We all used it. So going along those same principles, we just enable them with all the tools and we gave them some specific needs. Okay, can you identify one use case or two use cases? With these tools, can you see how it is making your life better? If you find something cool, why don't you go share it in Notebook LM or share it in one of our Slack channels? So it's more like word of mouth communication as well and enablement. And then in this prompt-a-thon, almost 200 plus submissions came in and we curated and prioritized the top 30 and in that we selected top 8. So this whole exercise made it more like a community driven one where people were exposed to the new tools, they were playing with the new tools, they came up with these use cases, they built a prototype using AI tools, and they also gave a demo as well. By doing all these things in parallel, I would say that our enablement and AI literacy is in a good state right now. Obviously, we have to do more work on it because AI is not constant over here. It keeps changing every day. So again, at least the mission is running now.
The only thing I would add is that was the catalyst that we took and essentially helped to get to the next level for product and technology for our team. Our goal is every employee in product and technology, 100% of all individuals, as Karthik put it, are experimenting. They've got their hands on something and helping us understand how their work will change, helping themselves understand the impact that the tools can make. And so what we did is we put together a flagship event called AI Week. That's AI Week is because I'm not creative. I couldn't really come up with a better name.
But, it's well communicated and it's straightforward. I love it.
This was
there's no question what it's about.
It was inspiration from the chief product officer at Amplitude. Francois was giving me tips on how he was helping to drive adoption across his product and technology organization. But what was really exciting about this event is it was, first of all, bookshelfed with our CPTO, kick things off, and really talked about our overall product strategy and how we can leverage AI internally to unlock it. Our out the event, reminding us how pivotal this moment in time is. He was employee 11 at Salesforce. So he was in the real midst of the internet wave and SaaS. So he really told a lot of stories, really playing back to his experiences of another precipice in tech. And then we used this opportunity to unveil our new AI design language from the UX team, our new AI architecture from our chief architect. Our CISO came in and did secure coding session. And a lot of it was hands-on keyboard. And then to lead up to it, we did something called crossing the chasm exercises. And these were all like exercises that individuals were asked to take on prompting and things like that. And what was really exciting is during this AI week is those individuals came back and presented their crossing the chasm exercises. We cherry picked the ones that resonated. And a lot of it was, of course, accelerating our H2 roadmap items, but there was some real fun ones as well where folks went rogue. I'll give you an example. Individual named Stephen Parker. He went and built a lovable clone using Claude, how meta is that? Like using one AI tool to build another AI tool. And it just showed like the art of the possibility. And it was just really fun. And again, like the intent here is, as Karthik pointed, is how do you drive a ton of adoption to make sure everybody knows that this is a moment in time to experiment and get their hands on things.
I creeped on both your LinkedIn pages just to look at what you've been up to lately in case, there's any good questions to ask. And I saw you both posting about the prompt-a-thon and Karthik, you with the hackathon. And I had to ask, what are some of the more wild or interesting outputs from that? Because everyone has seen, we figured out a way to do a chatbot this way in here or something. Any other fun kind of takeaways?
I was one of the judges from the top 35. And apparently whatever came up to the top was all product relevant ideas, right? And because we've already kind of expanded our enterprise AI things, yes, we did see some, but some of them were so cool. Shakir, I'm not sure, like whatever the top finalists did, right? Like an auto close and driving the self-service implementation and end-to-end. Those were the things people were able to do prototypes in less than a week, which would have ideally taken like 3 months or 6 months. So we were also seeing AI being used to fast track their ideation process and to show what is possible and make the product capabilities better. There were other internal use cases like how we can drive more growth and drive better personalized engagement with our prospects and customers. Those were the typical use cases that we have seen as well.
Like you said, there's a couple of people who did real product things and they were able to get from kind of idea to prototype that functioned in a week or under a week. And that's at kind of some fundamental level, that's the pace we all have to be operating at now. So cool to see a company like Zuora moving at that pace, where at your scale, and to have that pace is so powerful. It's a fun time to be in tech, guys. I'm really glad you can come on and talk about this.
One thing I want to share is not everything.
Yeah, please.
Not everything is a rosy picture, right?
No, not as much as we like to think it is.
We had our own ups and downs as well. Hey, this tool is awesome. Why are people not using it? We have seen it in a couple of the tools where the adoption is less than 10%, where we ideally want it to be like 40-50% adoption in the first 3 months. But the key thing is, at the end of the day, CFO is going to be holding us accountable because we have reinvested some of the SaaS rationalization into the new AI tools and capabilities and not adding more to our budget, but we need to see the value. The value is not about, hey, I have saved, let's say 100 hours on producing 10 videos, right? That is a great first step. But the key question that we have to share back with the leadership team is, what did we do with those 100 hours? Did we create more videos or did we do other high value-oriented work? We are not there yet. We are still at step 1. We are saving some time here and there. We are driving growth in some areas, but how are we actually translating that into more new values, what we are currently working on?
It's very much not, can you make 100 more videos? It's, can you try all those 10 things now that you couldn't do before? They're now possible. Well, I am bullish from talking to you guys, bullish on seeing where you guys go. We'll have to have you on in maybe a year and see how that's progressing. Or I guess at the speed of AI, a year in the new time is about a week and a half. Is LinkedIn the best place to reach out if people are looking to ask questions, or is there a better way?
LinkedIn is a great.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast talking to you. Let's definitely stay in touch, and I'd love to follow up and see how it goes a year or so down the line.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. It was great. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.